2008 Infiniti EX35 radiator replacement. I'm Brian Eslick from How to Automotive. I'm going to walk you through the steps of replacing that radiator.
We're going to get started by lifting the vehicle in the air and removing the lower shields by following the perimeter and removing
the shields removed. You can go ahead and remove the lower hose on the driver's side here and have a bucket ready to catch the coolant. Now that the lower shields are off and the coolant's drained, I'm going to start removing this plastic cover here. Start by removing the bolts around the perimeter and also the clips. Get the clips off the grill here, you're going to peel it back. And there's going to be bolts underneath there too, on each corner. Once you get those out, then you can grab this plastic cover and kind of pull the grill back and lift it out. It's all unbolted, you can start lifting it out. And there's going to be a wire loom that you need to pop off the cover. And once you pop that off, then you can flip it up, and on the inside there's going to be some cables. You're going to pop those out of the little catches. So we need to remove the freon, so I got it hooked up to my AC machine. I'm sucking the freon down. The reason why was we're going to remove the condenser is going to come out with it. So if you guys don't have access to the freon recovery machine, I recommend you take it down to a shop and just have them do it. They'll charge you a small fee to charge it up, or evac it and charge it back up when you're done. After that, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the air cleaner. So we're going to remove the 10mm bolt here and the clamp here and unplug your mass airflow sensor, and we're just going to pull the box assembly out and set it aside. Then we're going to remove the two 10mm bolts here. Once those are removed, this will flex out of our way like this. We need to pop the cables off here and here. We're also going to pop it off here and unplug the sensor here. On each side of the radiator is a locking tab here. And here you're just going to take a pair of pliers like this, turn it counterclockwise, and pull it out and remove it. On the driver's side, also remove the air box here. So just remove the 10mm bolt here, loosen the clamp, and disconnect the mass air, and then lift it straight up, and then set it aside. Go ahead and remove the hose clamp here and the transmission cooler line. Pop that off. So after popping the hose off, I just tucked it out of my way. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the upper hose, and then I'm going to lift the car back up, or if you're doing this at home, you can crawl underneath. And there's going to be one more cooler line that we're going to disconnect from underneath. Just above the lower radiator hose is the transmission cooler line. We're going to pop that off, and I got a clipping tool on there so it doesn't drain out all the fluid. You can also just put a bolt on the end of the hose. That'll keep from draining all the fluid out, and then we're just going to let it hang down. Now we'll go ahead and remove the horn bracket here. Just take the 10mm bolt out here, and just below it is the 10mm bolt. And I'm going to take that out and the line, and I'll pop the lines for the condenser off. Now that you've got the AC lines unbolted, you can go ahead and change out the O-rings before you install it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to pull the AC condenser and radiator back like this and lift up out of the bracket, and just lift it until you clear all the lines. And then you may have to maneuver this out of the way. Just maneuver the hoses and you work it and you lift it straight. The hardest part about when taking it out was the cables kept snagging on things, so you just got to you may even have to have somebody help you hold the cables out of your way like this, and you just flex the lines out of your way, and then you lift straight up. Now we're going to take this condenser and separate it from the radiator, and the way you do that is on the corners. You'll push in right here, and then you'll push the condenser up, so one on each corner. This side's already been pushed. Once you free those tabs in the corner, the condenser will lift straight up and off. On the bottom of the radiator, we're going to pop these rubber grommets off and then reinstall them onto the new radiator. The same thing on the top of the radiator. There's some rubber grommets. We'll pop those off and install them on the new radiator. Now we're going to take our condenser and slide it into the bottom slots here and here, and then make sure it slides in there, and then push it until it locks into place. Now we're going to re-stab it into the core support, and we're going to make sure that these rubber grommets, if they fall off easily, you may want to glue them on. We're going to make sure that they stab into the bottom of the core support in the corners here and here.
Once you stab the radiator and condenser back into the core support, you're going to hook the cables up and the bracket and reinstall the bolts, and then reinstall the lock tab. Now you're going to change out the O-rings on the AC condenser lines, reinstall the lines, and start. Now you can reinstall the horn. Now you're going to make sure all the cables are reconnected and back into the brackets. plug in the electrical connector for the AC, and then you're going to reinstall the transmission cooler line and hook up the clamps. Now we're going to reinstall the air box by stabbing the nipples into the rubber grommets. Then we'll tighten the bolts up, plug in the mass air, tighten up the hose clamp, and plug in the wire loom. Next we'll reconnect the upper radiator hose and clamp. Then we'll reinstall the air box and make sure everything is plugged back in. Now we're ready to reinstall the top cover by plugging in the cables, pulling the grill back and sticking it underneath and laying it in. Once it's back into position, we'll start all the bolts and clips and re-secure the lid. And don't forget the bolts underneath the corners of the grill. Now we're going to lift the vehicle back up, reinstall the lower radiator hose, and reinstall the lower transmission cooler line and clamps. Make sure everything is re-secured. Now you're ready to reinstall the lower splash shield and re-secure all the fasteners. Now it's time to refill the cooling system.
Check your AC refrigerant charge and properly and recharge the AC system. Once your cooling fans have run and the AC has been recharged, you can go ahead and test drive it. When you get back from your test drive, double check your coolant level, and that'll complete the job of replacing the radiator on a 2008 Infiniti EX35. I will be linking up the parts in the description of the video. And that way, if you need to get those, you can find them there. I'm Brian Eslick from How to Automotive. I'd like to thank you guys for watching my videos. Encourage you to subscribe. Invite you to head over to the howtoautomotive.com website for more valuable videos like this. And I'd like to thank you again for watching.